When you want to bring in sculptural texture from an image, best way to do that is to start with the standard brush, and what I'd recommend is just to clone that standard brush. Then from the image that you want to pull from, so in this case I'm going to do some rock speckles, we'll go ahead and save this to a folder where I know that I'll be able to access it. And then from ZBrush, I'm going to go to the alpha menu. We'll say import, and we've got rock specks here. Now, as I draw with this, you'll notice two things. First of all, it's going to blob outward, right? You can see it's pushing the geometry outward. The second thing that's happening is that it's dragging the brush along, like instead of just applying the texture a single time, I'm getting this kind of stretched out version of the texture. In fact, you might even see something if your lazy mouse is turned off where it's really just dragging it. You're not really getting much of the texture at all. Lazy mouse will give you a little bit more of that texture when you change the lazy spacing, but I'm going to show you how to get just the texture as is. Usually drag rect is the best way to actually just drag the brush out the way you want. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's pushing out. And just to explain why this is happening, if I turn this focal shift down, you'll notice we're actually getting the square of the image around the brush. So that's where the real problem is coming from, is it's treating this entire brush as though it's additive or that it's pushing things outward. And that's actually because of the image in ZBrush. It's going to treat white as pushing the stuff out. So if I go into invert in adjustments and save this again, now, when I load in that alpha, you'll notice as I drag this out, it's going to be poking out now. And so if I want that same behavior, I'll just press Alt, and you can now adjust the Z intensity to get less push inward. But that will make it so that you don't get the sort of blobbing outward, and it'll just add the texture to the surface.